Hello, and thank you for giving us another opportunity to spend some time with you on Stairway to Health, brought to you by Health Experts Canada. We've got some great ideas, new information, and hopefully a few laughs for you today. Who knows? If you're not careful, you may learn something.
Welcome, everybody, to Stairway to Health podcast. This is your host, Frank Peary, along with...
And I'm Marilyn Mitchell.
And today we are going to talk about something, Marilyn, that is really big in the headlines and in the news and all around us in the media today. When it comes to reaching levels of optimal health and well-being, one of the hot topics of the moment is plant-based foods and plant-based diets. Now, this is an interesting one because there's a lot of misconceptions, I'll say, when it comes to plant-based diets, plant-based foods.
Misconceptions is saying it lightly. Seriously, I have no idea what that means anymore.
Yeah, that's true. I can completely understand how the majority of people out there could be completely confused right now about what is healthy when it comes to plant-based foods and plant-based diets. We hear a lot of people say that they want something plant-based. We hear a lot of people say that they want to be vegan, vegetarian, or following more of a plant-based diet is in their interest. But whether or not they truly understand what it means, that is the real question. So it's interesting. There's a quote that I found recently, and I think this quote says it all. Real food doesn't have ingredients. Real food is ingredients. And I think that speaks very clearly to the whole concept of plant-based foods. I think it's time people start to rethink their food choices. I think you had said it best when you said something recently. Can't remember exactly what it was. Something about processed foods. What did you say?
I can't. Was it something that was, wonderfully spoken by me or something?
Yeah, I think you had said if it comes from a plant, eat it. That's what it was. If it comes from a plant, eat it. If it was made in a plant, don't. Yes. Eat. Yeah. Very, very clear concept. So I guess the definition, the clear definition of a plant-based diet is that it is a diet consisting mostly or entirely of plant-based foods. Plant-based diets encompass a wide range of dietary patterns that contain low amounts of animal products and high amounts of plant-based products such as vegetables, fruits, whole grains, legumes, fruits, nuts, seeds, that type of thing.
Okay, so you're saying that a plant-based diet isn't necessarily a vegetarian or vegan diet. Is that what you're saying?
That is correct. The correct definition of a plant-based diet is one that incorporates mostly fruits, fresh fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes, foods that are, grown on this, Mother Earth planet of ours, plants and foods that are easily accessible. And I think the key phrase here is not processed.
Okay, but just a sec. So you're saying that it would be healthier for me to try and get as many things that are plant-based into my diet.
Correct.
Right? Okay. So we're talking, corn is a plant. And if you let it go a little longer than the fresh plant and I add heat to it, then it becomes popcorn. And so therefore, are you telling me that I can have all the popcorn I want with, let me see, olive oil or avocado oil? And what is that? Is that what you're suggesting?
You know what? I mean, I see how you're morphing this. And the truth of the matter is, yes, corn is a plant and therefore considered a plant-based food. I think when you bastardize the definition of plant-based, you can turn it into whatever you want it to be.
No, I'm not bastardizing it. I'm telling you that wheat is a plant. When we make wheat into flour and add water, we can make pasta. So if I have a huge plate of pasta with tomato sauce, again, plant-based, onions, plant-based, mushrooms, plant-based.
Okay, you're half right here. I mean, you're on the right track. Plant-based, I mean, yes, wheat is a grain. Now, I think what we have to do is to lessen the confusion is we have to take it one step further and think a little bit about how is wheat grown, how is corn grown, how is rice grown, how is soy grown. There are approximately, I'd say 5, maybe 6 foods, plant-based foods, that are considered heavily genetically modified food product now in the market. They have been, the DNA of the seed of these plants or foods have been spliced and manipulated so that we can control the growth of the plant, we can control the size, the height, we can make it more resistant to the elements, the natural elements, insects, and so forth. And so when you genetically modify or change a seed from its original heirloom state, we are then, it's a form of scientific processing, if you will, and that's where the definition of plant-based really changes. It's no longer naturally sourced from Mother Earth. It is now something that has been manipulated, it's been processed, and we're growing it. And even though it is a plant as we grow it, it's really not the true definition of plant-based. And I mean, you could argue this for a number of different things in the marketplace, I'm sure. You mentioned earlier today, we were walking through the grocery store and we happened to be at the cash and you saw a package of red licorice and you thought, that's plant-based. And I said, how is that plant-based?
Well, it is. It is from sugarcane. Sugarcane is a plant, right? Sugarcane becomes melted down. You add water to it. Sugar, water, everything so far to me is plant-based. And I honestly saw a bag of candies that said plant-based gummies.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this opens up the world of products that I was sort of steering away from. I had no idea this was healthy.
Yes. Well, I know an awful lot of people who have said they follow a plant-based diet, only they come in looking for things for diabetes and type 2 diabetes and sugar balance and sugar cravings and control. And I guess, plant-based should mean that you see your doctor less often, not that you're going to be sitting in your doctor's office more often because of other conditions that are spawned from a plant-based diet. We really have to get back to basics and we have to simplify the idea of what plant-based truly is. A number of people say they're plant-based and therefore they don't eat any animal product. Well, that's not necessarily what plant-based means. Plant-based does mean that you incorporate a greater abundance of fresh fruits, vegetables, legumes, nuts, seeds. And yes, healthy oils can be all part of that. And yes, some fruits are going to be higher in sugar than others, and that then draws in other questions of what current state of health is somebody in and what should they be avoiding or being cautious of. But we have to take the processing out of the equation. And again, it's like that quote you mentioned earlier that you told me about, that if it comes from a plant, eat it. But if it was made in a plant, don't. Well, everything made in a plant is processed. So when you walk through the store and you look at any foods that are in a packaged state, I mean, I would love, as an Italian, I would love to be eating nothing but fresh made pasta from 00 wheat, heirloom grown. I mean, it would be amazing. And I think the majority of us would, if we've ever eaten pasta in Italy itself, we would understand that we didn't have nearly the digestive issues that some of us face when eating pasta and wheat-rich foods here. So there's a very, very different idea, okay, when it comes to choosing plant-based foods. If you go to that freezer section in your grocery store and it's talking about a plant-based foods that's in a package and it's all wrapped up and the ingredient list is a mile long and some of the words you can't even, recite, you don't even know what they mean. How is that plant-based?
Okay, I have one last question.
Okay.
So you're telling me that something that is derived from a vegetable or a plant is referred to as plant-based.
Right.
So the barbecued steak that I have, the cow ate nothing but grass. Is this cow then plant-based?
Boy, oh boy, are you twisting the idea. I would say that's a grass-fed cow for sure. And you can get great grass-fed butter. And I'm sure that the cuts of meat from that cow would be absolutely delicious and tender. But you're not talking about a plant-based food.
Oh, okay. I tried.
It's certainly a healthier alternative for some of the carnivores out there. But when it comes to plant-based foods, we can't lose sight of the fact that they are supposed to be considered nutrient-dense foods packed with fiber, healthy fats, good quality protein, vitamins, minerals, and so forth. But we have to always, in the back of our minds, keep the thought of what's happening to the food system, what's happening to the food supply chain, what's happening to the soils that the foods are grown in, what's going on with the countries where the foods are coming from, because so much is imported. So we have to be very cognizant of what a true healthy food is. And I think if you can grow it in your vegetable garden, or if you can pick it off a tree or harvest it from a bush or a plant, then we're talking about plant-based. And it doesn't mean that you're vegan or vegetarian. It just means that you incorporate an abundance of healthy, rich, fiber-rich foods, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, legumes. I go back to that again and again. Not processed, not packaged.
Okay, so just to be clear one last time, the potato, the large potato that I dug out of my backyard and washed and scrubbed, if I slice it very thinly and then fry it in a very healthy avocado oil, virgin olive oil, and if I do that and let them cool down, and that would be a very healthy plant-based potato chip?
It would certainly be a healthy plant-based potato chip that you made yourself, as opposed to purchasing and eating out of a bag that was processed in a plant somewhere. Yes.
So that would be okay?
That would, homemade fries, homemade potato chips. Sure.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
All right. I'm liking you a little better now. Yeah,
you can have that win. Well, I think that's all the time we have for today, but I just wanted to say, I hope we cleared up a little bit of the confusion. We want people out there to be logical, use their brains when it comes to choosing a plant-based diet. Everyone, I'm Frank Peary.
And I'm Marilyn Mitchell. And until next time, remember, health is wealth. So that's all the time we have today, but there's still so much more to talk about and learn. Head over to healthexpertscanada.com for more ideas on healthy living, and don't forget to like, download, and share this podcast with your friends, just for the health of it.